What's up, everyone? Thomas here with ForReel Movie News and Reviews, and I will be attending the Vancouver International Film Festival in person. Guys, I am so excited to be back going to a film festival in person. Now, of course, a few months ago, I got to attend the North Bend Film Festival down outside of Seattle, and that was a great experience, and it was very nice to be back to a film festival with the whole pandemic thing going on. But Vancouver is a film festival that I look forward to every year, and it's one of the major film festivals here in the Pacific Northwest, and so I can't wait to be back in that atmosphere and to be back in Vancouver and enjoying some really high demand, high quality films that we'll probably be talking about into next year as they continue through their film festival runs. So the only thing that I think I'm more excited about than the film festival itself is being able to reconnect with my fellow journalists and film friends, including my Canadian friends up in Vancouver. When I get up to Vancouver, I will obviously be making time to meet up with Matthew Simpson from Awesome Friday. He is a recurring guest here on ForReel and a good friend that I love talking about movies and film festivals with. So his content, of course, is at awesomefriday.ca. And I'll also be meeting up with Leanne Mclaren, who is a host on Vancouver's Move 103.5. Both of them, actually, I met at the Vancouver International Film Festival a few years back. And so it's always great to be able to get together with them and talk movies and attend the festival with them. So that's awesome. And then, of course, I will obviously be hanging out a whole bunch with my Seattle friend Taylor Baker from Drinkin' the Movies. He and I will be carpooling up to Vancouver a couple times, and yeah, it's always a good time getting together with him and talking about movies with him. And so I'm sure we'll all be able to get together and just discuss movies and what we're seeing and just get to hang out and enjoy the film festival. So the one unfortunate thing is that our writer Taylor Beaumont, he will be covering the festival, which is awesome. It's just that he will be leaving town in the middle of the festival, actually around the same time that I will be getting to town to the festival. So he and I are going to cross paths and miss each other, unfortunately. But I'll get together with him another time. In the meantime, he will be putting out content for the festival, and so will I. And so you'll still be able to enjoy our content at moviesforreal.net and our thoughts about movies and movie reviews and the festival experience. So I just figured I'd take a few moments to talk about some of the films that I'm going to, or at least I am planning on seeing at the Vancouver International Film Festival, and also highlight some things that I think are must-sees, films that I watched at other film festivals that will be playing at VIFF. So let's start with what I'm going to try to watch. The first movie that I think I'll be able to catch when I get to Vancouver on Tuesday the 5th will be the first day that I can attend, and that film will be Drive My Car. It is directed by Ryusuke Hamaguchi, and it has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a pretty solid indicator that I am going to be very intrigued by this film. It also won 3 awards at Cannes. And one thing that I found really interesting in reading about this film is on the VIFF website, the description starts off by saying, elaborating on a short story, which is funny because the film is 3 hours long. So that must be a lot of elaboration. But the description on the VIFF website goes on to say, one of the most critically acclaimed films at Cannes this year, which I kind of mentioned, Drive My Car is a sophisticated cerebral film which digs into trauma, suffering, and the human struggle to articulate our most intense feelings. And honestly, guys, I can't ask for anything more out of a film than delivering the most human story that it can. And that just sounds exactly like what I'm looking for. I just love to watch films and be able to get that human component in it and feel like I can connect with it and relate with it on that very personal level. And I hope that this movie delivers on that. I'm very thankful to VIFF for adding a press screening for the film that Tuesday morning. Because the other screenings, like the standard screenings for the film at the festival, are at the end of the day, and I have done 3-hour films at the end of a long day of watching movies. In fact, it was a couple years ago at VIFF that I ended a 5-movie day with A Hidden Life, which is also a 3-hour film by Terrence Malick, and that was a struggle. It was a big struggle, but I did love that film. It's tough to get through a whole day of movie watching and then try to sit up late at night for a 3-hour film. So thank you for making a morning showing for press. I'm looking forward to being able to enjoy this film without feeling too fatigued for it. So that's one, Drive My Car. Another one that I'm looking forward to is Bergman Island, which is directed by Mia Hansen-Love. It has an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, so pretty good ratings. And I am having kind of a hard time grasping the concept of the film, which honestly is kind of something that I like when it comes to approaching a new film, is going into it not knowing what to expect. From what I gather, it's about art and life and creativity and relationships. So yeah, I don't know what to expect. But I think that it's going to be a very unique theatrical experience. So I can't complain about that yet. Another one I want to check out is Red Rocket from director Sean Baker, who did The Florida Project, which I really, really enjoyed. It's so slice of life and also just very fascinating to watch this underprivileged community through the eyes of these kids who are, who are in it. And so just such a unique kind of story, which makes me kind of wonder, what will Sean Baker's approach to Red Rocket be? It's more adult themed from what I can tell. But it still is kind of addressing this like underprivileged part of America. And so I am looking forward to seeing what that looks like, especially with it being classified as a comedy. I could use a good comedy. I like finding really good ones there. And the other thing about Red Rocket is that it obviously is a very high demand film. Two of the 3 showings at VIFF are currently sold out. And the one showing that is left seems to only have a few tickets left. So yeah, very high demand film. I think that I'm looking forward to what it offers as far as storytelling goes, and to see exactly how entertaining it is. So yeah. And then another one that I'm gonna check out and approach with caution, maybe, is Memoria. This one's directed by Apachakpong Weerasethakul. And hopefully I said that right. Really, shot in the dark on that one. But the movie has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is interesting because the film is described as, being dreamy and meditative and abstract, which for me can be hit or miss. It really just kind of depends on the presentation. It does star Tilda Swinton, and says that her character recurrently experiences a booming sound that no other character can hear. And apparently that sends her off on a journey to find answers for this. So this is another one that I don't know what to expect. Like I said, I'm gonna approach it with caution. I've heard praise for the film. I've heard apprehension. But what I also know is that all three showings at VIFF sold out very quickly. So I am I'm happy to have been able to lock down a ticket while they were available. So another film I'm going to watch is, or at least I'm hopefully going to watch, is Belfast. There is only one screening of this movie at VIFF currently, and that one's sold out. So another very high demand film. But it has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, so pretty good reviews. Potentially some Oscar buzz around this one as well. It's directed by Kenneth Branagh. And the description on the VIFF website says, Belfast is a coming-of-age film which resonates with our own times and the sudden loss of security which overtook the world with the onset of the pandemic. And that's, I mean, it's interesting enough, but then the description also goes on to say that there's a lot of warmth and humor. So that kind of indicates to me that this is going to be a pretty entertaining film. This is going to be hopefully something that that I can be pleasantly delighted by. And also the black and white presentation could also be a plus for this film. I mean, when you put a film in black and white, like an artistic film in black and white, it just adds this level of character and dynamic to the experience, right? You think about what black and white presentations did for films like Mank and Roma and Cold War, which I also got to see at the Vancouver Film Festival. And then, of course, my favorite film of this, or one of my favorite films in this century, The Lighthouse. Black and white just helped elevate those films to a whole nother echelon of interesting. So maybe it can do the same thing here for Belfast. And the last one I'm going to talk about in some detail is Official Competition. So this one is co-directed by Mariano Cohen and Gaston Duprat. And this just seems like a really fun film, just like a fun and entertaining kind of movie. The description says Penelope Cruz and Antonio Banderas are together again in this delightful Spanish satire on actors, egos, and film art. Like, I think to have this kind of movie like end a film festival experience, or at least because I'll be watching it towards the end of the festival. It just seems like such a fun film to be a part of wrapping the festival up. The movie also has Oscar Martinez as well, and Jose Luis Gomez. So yeah, it just seems like a very fun film, and I love experiencing fun films at film festivals. It's just a nice change of pace, and yeah, so there is that. Let's see. There are a few movies that I watched at other film festivals that I highly recommend that are playing at the Vancouver International Film Festival. And so I'll talk about a few of them, one of which I just cannot stop talking about. So if you watch my other content, then you probably know what it is. I strongly recommend watching Flee. It is a documentary directed by Jonas Poer Rasmussen. And I was fortunate enough to catch this one at Sundance when it debuted there, and it is just such a fantastic film watching experience. Just the storytelling is amazing. The story that is being told is super compelling, and then the animation just puts this movie into a whole nother echelon of awesomeness in filmmaking and storytelling. So I cannot rave enough about this film. It's actually doing a pretty robust fall film festival circuit before it releases, I think, in December. But good. Like, this is a movie that I really hope a lot of people watch and experience, and yeah, just appreciate as much as I did. So I recommend Flee. It is currently my favorite film of the year, if you couldn't tell. Another one I recommend is Compartment Number Six. Both Taylor Baker and I watched this at Toronto International Film Festival and ranked it pretty highly among the movies that we watched. It's directed by Juho Koismanen, and yeah, I think that this one is interesting with the dynamic between the two lead characters and how they interact with each other and kind of what happens with their story. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking that one out. And another one that surprised me at TIFF actually ended up becoming one of my favorite films at TIFF was Quickening, directed by Haya Wasim. And that one's playing at VIFF as well, and yeah, that was actually I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed that. So if you want to know more, I have my review on the website. You can read more about that. But yeah, Quickening is another one I recommend. Petite Maman, which I also saw at TIFF, directed by Celine Sciamma. I was interested in that movie because I loved Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Just a phenomenal film. I think that Petite Maman is a little more subdued than that one, but it's still very compelling filmmaking and storytelling. And it has the similarity in the sense that it doesn't use a whole lot of music, like Portrait of a Lady on Fire. But when it does use music, it really adds a lot of emotional value to the moments that is happening. And so yeah, that was another good one at TIFF that is playing at VIFF that I recommend. And then let's see, the last one I'm going to talk about is Passing, which I saw at Sundance. It was the directorial debut by Rebecca Hall, and I think that this movie covers a subject matter that I don't think is talked about enough in our country. The idea of passing as white at a time when there's so much discrimination happening, and has really good performances from Tessa Thompson and Ruth Negga. So yeah, this was actually a late addition to VIFF. I'm pretty sure they added it to the lineup like today, the day that I'm recording this, which is just a couple days before the festival. So yeah, that I'm glad that they've added that to the lineup. It's an interesting film, and like I said, a topic that I think should be talked about more. So yeah. There, and of course, there are a lot of films that are playing at the Vancouver Film Festival that I haven't even gotten to. But I definitely encourage you to, if you are in Vancouver or if you're planning on attending the film festival, check out the lineup at viff.org. And see what else is there. I'm still kind of ironing out my schedule as well, seeing if there are any movies in my blind spot that I should probably check out. I think that there are a couple things that I want to see but haven't added to my schedule just yet. Paris 13th District is one that I'm interested in. Everything is Fine is another one. The Girl and the Spider is another one, and on and on and on. If I could just watch every movie, that would be great. But alas, there is not enough time, and I have to, we all kind of have to choose, and that's what kind of makes film festivals so much fun is being able to figure out how to build a schedule around the movies you really want to see, and hopefully getting to as many of those as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I appreciate you tuning in for this. Before I close, just a couple of notes. If you cannot get across the border and happen to be here in Washington, or Western Washington more specifically, like so close but so far from VIFF, there's actually the Orcas Island Film Festival, which I like to call VIFF Mini. It has a lot of the same headlining films that VIFF is playing, and it happens at the same time. I'm pretty sure that festival is going on from October 7th to the 10th, while VIFF happens from the 1st to the 11th. So yeah, just want to shout out to Orcas Island Film Festival for having a really awesome lineup here in Western Washington, as these major films start hitting more film festivals. And also another thing happening during VIFF is Nightstream. I am accredited to cover Nightstream as well, and so I get a little bit of genre film watching in at the same time. So Nightstream, I'm pretty sure last year was the first year that Nightstream happened, and I was able to watch a few films when it happened last year. And this is where I found out that North Bend Film Festival was a thing, and they were one of the genre festivals that helped contribute to making Nightstream happen. So I was happy to watch films from Nightstream last year. I then went and covered North Bend Film Festival in person this year, and now I get to cover Nightstream again. It's just really cool to support the events that the local film festivals are supporting. So yeah. So those are my shout outs. The last note that I want to end on is this. Now, film festivals, if you're as avid of a film festival goer as I am, or if you're a journalist covering film festivals, these things can be very stressful and very exhausting. Obviously there's a lot of fun to be had, but I just want to put a gentle reminder out there to stay healthy and get some rest, and make sure to take breaks in between films and just take care of yourself. I know that I can get very burnt out at times. Like there's so much you want to get to, and so much, at least for me, I want to write about and be a part of, all of course, in my case, while I still have life to manage as well. So just a reminder to everyone out there to make sure to take breaks and take care of yourself and get rest, and yeah, just be healthy. But enjoy the festival. It's always a lot of fun, and there's a lot of fun to be had. But I just like to put that out there as a reminder to you, and also really as a reminder to myself. Like I said, I get burnt out as well, and so just mindful scheduling, mindful planning, and be sustainable about how you go about these things. And other film festivals also coming up as well. So. All right, I'll go ahead and finalize it there. You can follow our content of VIFF. Like I said, I will be publishing reviews, and Taylor Beaumont, our other writer, one of our other writers, will also be publishing reviews for the Vancouver International Film Festival at moviesforreel.net. ForReel, of course, spelled FORREEL. You can also follow ForReel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at moviesforreel. And then, of course, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at beingtsj. There'll be links in whatever description box there is attached to this video, so easy access there. Yeah, so if you happen to be attending VIFF, reach out, connect with me. I always like meeting new people and talking about film with other people. So yeah, reach out, connect, and if it happens to work out, let's grab a beer. I'm always down for that. So great. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And until the next time I see you on one of these videos, keep it real.